Hello everyone, I hope you are well. My name is Lok Tin Yong and this is my website again. So today we're going to talk about Feng Shui, of course. It's Feng Shui, so we'll talk more about Feng Shui. So in Chinese Feng Shui, we have many different names. You may see here, but there's more than that. So these 5 is more important and I will talk about them. So there are also other like 补宅、相宅、看木、看阴阳, or there's different name. But maybe for you, you need to know more about all these few names. So Feng Shui they also call 地理. Dili also that has 2 meanings. Dili, one is like Feng Shui地理. Meaning the Feng Shui things, and the other Dili means the geography as well. Second is called Kan Yu, Ham Yu Ho, Kan Yu, the study of the heaven and the earth. So Kan means the ways or the Dao, the Dou, Tian Dou, heaven, the heaven way. And the Kan is the Yu is the earth, on the earth, the way of the earth. So Kan Yu means studying the heaven up above and down the earth. The third one, I think most of the people, or particularly or Chinese, if they're not in the Feng Shui industry, they may not know there's another name. It's called Qing Wu. Qing Wu actually is a person. He's a famous master as well. He written a book called Qing Wu books of Qing Wu, whatever. But this book is already no longer exists. So, and if we respect someone, if say, oh, he's a very good Qing Wu, that means he's a very good Feng Shui master. Qing Wu. The Chinese writing is very special. Like this is Wu, and there's no one dot in there. If you put one dot in there, it becomes bird. So some people may pronounce it as Qing. Qing is green actually, green bird, but it's not. It's Qing Wu. If you from I Ching point of view, Qing is wood element, and it's Xun Gua. And Xun is wind, okay? Xun is wind. If you look at the I Ching book, Xun is wood. And Wu, black, is water. So Qing Wu. Qing Wu means actually, if you convert into I Ching, it means wind and water. Qing Wu. And then, of course, number 4 is yin and yang. So yin yang, all we know about yin and yang, like yin yang, the day and night, the sun and the moon, the man and the woman, the yin and yang, the back and the front, the up and the down. There's a comparison. So it's a yin yang, or they call yin yang technique, or yin yang, or they also call someone like Mr. Yin Yang or Yam Yang Xin Sang, Yin Yang Xian Sang. Okay. And then there's also the 5th one is called Qing Lan Su. Qing Lan Su. Su means technique or skill. Qing Lang Sun, also meaning Feng Shui. Qing Lan Su also is a book as well, or some classical Feng Shui text. And in this Feng Shui text, there are 3 scrolls, three scrolls. And the first scroll is, from the beginning, it starts like this. It say, 天尊地卑, 陽其陰偶, 16共中27同道, 38為貧, 49為有, 50同道, 合辟其偶, 五少生成, 流行始終. So what does it mean? That means it is the HeTu. Okay. So what is a HeTu? Let me show you what is a HeTu, and then we can explain a little bit more. So to save some time about drawing it up, I already printed a HeTu out. So the HeTu, I recite a little bit of classical text earlier. So it said 一六共中 1 6 together. So this is 1 and 2 4 6. So here is a 1 and 6. 2 7 2 and this is 7. So that's a 2 and 7. It's a 3 3 dot 3 and 8. And then there's a 4 and 9. So in the middle here is a 5 and a 10. And then based on this HeTu, we have these numbers. And this number is very, very significant in Feng Shui. If you have read some Feng Shui book, most of the Feng Shui books just introduce this is the HeTu. But in the later stage, they never come back to say how you can use it. But in the Yuan system, we are very much emphasizing the HeTu as well. So that HeTu, 1 6 2 7 3 8 4 9 5 10 in the middle, that is become the 5 element. 5 element. So these 1 6 is water. They assign as a water element and the direction is north. That is wood element and the direction is east. That is fire element and the direction is south. 4 9 is metal and the direction is west. The center is earth element. Then you will say, why they organize this way? Well, that's a very good question, because most of the book they do not explain it. They just say, oh, in the old time there's HeTu, HeTu, there's a turtles, coming up from the he, the le he, that we call le he. There's a river come out, that's a turtles, and then that's the dog at the back of the turtle back. So they use that, and that's it. No one really explain it, and they do not say what they come from. I also do some research checking, where this HeTu come from, and I do find some information which is very interesting, and I believe they are quite correct. In the old time, the I Ching also use the HeTu and the Law Su. From the HeTu and the Law Su, then develop a lot of the Gua, the 8 Gua, 8 Gua, 8 Gua, and then 64 Gua. So why is that? What is this HeTu does? It actually is a calendar. It's a calendar. It represents 4 seasons. Like that's winter, that's spring, that's summer, and that's autumn. And that in the middle is the season in between, like the in between, like the passing in between, like spring and the summer, the passing. And I find some information about the calendar, and actually in the old ancient time, they call a 10-month calendar. So if you think about a 10-month calendar, the 10 calendar is actually matching with the 10 heavenly stamps. 10 heavenly stamps. We will talk about that later. So I just want to give you some basic, information first. But from throughout the history, over the 2,500 years, there's hardly anyone give a reasonable explanation. But I do look at those information from the ethnic minority they call 彝族. and they have their own character. They have their own wording, like unlike Chinese, but they are part of China. But now the Yizhu is more living in the Yunnan, Hunan, Guangxi. They have old information talking about the HeTu is related to their 10-month calendar. And actually, there's a 10-month city near Yunnan area. So what they do is they build up the city and they use the this 10 months. So each month they have 36 days. 36 days. And so so here is 10, right? 10 by 10 is 360 days. But we know each year is not 360. What they do is they have 2 New Years. One is in summer, the summer solstice, and one is in the winter solstice. So they use 3 days to celebrate the summer solstice, summer New Year, and 2 days to celebrate the winter New Year. So then you pass another 5 together, so it becomes 365 days. So this is, I believe, this is how it comes. But this is still not able to explain why this come, right? Then I read some other information as well. I read some other information. It say this. This HeTu is by observation of the planets, the planet position. So in the south is fire, so they look at the Mars. The north is water, so it's Mercury. The east is wood, so they look at the Jupiter. The center is the Saturn, and that is the Venus. But you may say, what's the relationship there? So, in this 10-month calendar, what they observed was that in the month of January and the first month and the 6th month, they can see Mercury in the north direction. Then you understand now, right? So they in the 3rd and the 8th month, they see the Jupiter in the east direction. In the 2nd month and the 7th month, they see the Mars in the south direction. And in the 4th and 9th month, they see Venus in that direction. Not only that, the record, right? They show that in the north, the Mercury will show up on the month, the 1st day, the 6th day, the 11th day, the 16th day, 21st day, and the 26th day. So 1-6, 1-6, 1-6. The Jupiter show up on the 3rd month, 8th month, on the 3rd day, the 8th day, the 13th, the 18th, 23, and 28. So, and the Venus is show up in the 4th and 9th month on the 4th day, 9th day, 14th, 19, 24, and 29. So same for that. I don't need to write it out now. So this is the idea. And also, they also observe the time as well. So there's too much here. I'm not going to write it down. So with that will explain that actually when we are doing the manipulation, we are also manipulation the energy or the chi from the sky. In the book of burial, remember the first video we talked about book of burial, it actually has a sentence like this, say, 天光下臨，地德常在，君子奪神功改天命. What's that mean? Is that like, it means like the ray, the sunlight shining down, and the earth, the energy of Venture coming up. And when they meet together, if you're a good person, you know the theory, you can change your destiny. So that is one of the chi from this planet, the 5-element chi. And then they will develop into, based on this chi, that will be look at the 4 seasons as well, like 4 seasons. 4 seasons is the 5-element theory. So the 5-element theory will be like water with the wood, wood with the fire, and the fire with the earth, earth with the metal. Is in this cycle. But for people, they more looking at more scientifically, they say wood control earth, wood control earth. Metal also can control earth, like you have a drill, you can drill on the ground, but it actually not meaning that way. It's meaning the energy is not a physical substance, it's the energy. For example, the metal energy is very strong in autumn time. So in autumn, so when autumn's coming, no matter the autumn here in the south hemisphere or autumn in the north hemisphere, the leaves or the tree will start falling. So that means the metal controlling the wood falling down. So when it comes to in spring, the wood grows, so the wood element is stronger. In summer, of course, it's hotter. The sun comes to the highest or at the elevation, so it's hotter in the weather. And of course, in winter, the sun is lower, so it's cooler. So it's represent water. It's the energy. It's not really a real substance. So if it's a real substance, if someone like look at astrology, someone need water and they just drink a lot of water and then you have good luck. Of course not. If you drink too much water, it is not good for you. So that is the concept of the HeTu, based on the Yi. We talk about that Yi minority. They are the ancient record. So, and then we will evolve to the Law Su as well. Law Su, okay, we're not going to into that just yet because HeTu. Okay, so He means in Chinese means a river, but Jiang also means a river. So He means a river, Jiang also means a river. Then why don't they use Jiang Tu? Like now it's HeTu. And why don't they use Jiang Tu? Because Jiang is actually bigger, longer. I've been thinking of that too, but maybe wrong. The Chinese call the Milky Way. We call the Milky Way from ancient time. They call the Milky Way. It's called Yinghe. Yinghe means a silver river. So HeTu, actually they're talking about the diagram of the Milky Way. So that's my thinking. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you can assuming I'm right, and you go find out about this planet position, because I believe a lot of people they're interested in astrology, and now there's some software they be able to find out the position of the planets in the certain time of the day. So, but anyway, the Feng Shui is we will work on the HeTu and the Lok Shu. So that is the HeTu Lok Shu is very important to us, and they two are combined together and forms Bagua. Bagua, there's a early heaven Bagua and later heaven Bagua. So this is the very important 4 diagram you have to remember if you want to do good feng shui or for good traditional feng shui. Firstly is the HeTu, and then the Lok Shu, and then the Bagua. The Bagua, and then the Bagua has an early heaven Bagua, later heaven Bagua. Then combine them together to form another layer. Is we call the Bagua and 24 mountains. 24 mountains. So all these combined together, then we'll be able to, inspect or look at feng shui of a place. So the center is the 5th and the 10th month. The 5th and the 10th month, and it's the Saturns, planet Saturns. Again, on the 5th day, 10th day, 15, 20, 25th, they can see more like in the middle of the sky. So if the HeTu is describing the diagram or the Milky Way, then my thinking also, then you do need to really care about the North Hemisphere and South Hemisphere Feng Shui. So most people, they are still arguing about what you need to convert, what you need to change. But maybe I can here share 1 or 2 example of in my past consult. I can give you some idea. So last year I had my workshop in Sydney, and one of my students, she's coming to join the class. She's been kind of study feng shui for on and off for many years, but she's not really used feng shui as a career at the moment. So because her dad is from Hong Kong, and her dad know I'm from Hong Kong too, so invite me to their home. Then okay, so I ran. Of course, I bought my compass, Lopun. There's no free lunch. So of course, we there, and they would say, "Oh, can you look at the place of my feng shui?" Because then I did look at that. Use a compass, from North Hemisphere, and I do this. I had the measurement of the house. Just show you. The house is facing Bing. Bing is kind of like south, leaning to east a little bit. And the door here is in Shin. Shin door. So when I measure it, and then I ask my student, Jennifer, of course I know the mom, her mom's birth year, and I say, with this feng shui configuration, is the mom has a hip issue, and she's so excited. She's excited than me, and say, "Mom, come," and she want me to repeat the question again. I say, "Auntie, have you had a hip issue?" And the auntie say, "I just had my hip replaced." And that is why hip as well. Okay, so you may why hip? Because with the element energy, because the Xin Gua is actually not a stem, not a branch, it's a Gua. But this Gua, it also represents the hip, okay? It represents the hip, so you just remember at this stage, it represents the hips. And this is, in our Feng Shui, is called the yellow spring sun. 月丙水房順水先. So that means if you're facing the Bing or facing the E direction, then you have to be aware of the Xin direction, Xin energy. 月丙水房順水先. Okay, so this is one example. I did not convert the opposite side or any side of the branch stem to be arranged in the south hemisphere configuration. And the second example, so the second example is for a lady. So as a lady in Newcastle, and this is the house. The house is facing facing Wu, the horse direction, and they have a door here, which is the Ding door, and then there has the E door here. So also at a toilet here. The toilet is at the high is the peak, high direction. So that's the Wu, that's the Ding. Okay. So the door is opening correctly, so the Ding actually represent the eyes. Ding Sum, that is the eye. So the lady's eyes has problem. One of the eyes nearly go blind. Later, then need to admit to the hospital to do some operation. And then the toilet here is in high. So in the high sector, actually, if you we talked about the basa earlier before, it's a real basa. Li is the peak, so it's a basa for this house. So the man there has the problem of the peak is water element, so have the issue with the prostate and the water system. So Li Gua is female, so it's the female issue, and the high is the Qian Gua. We'll talk about all this Gua later, don't worry, but just give you some example to get you excited. If you are Feng Shui fanatic, Feng Shui enthusiast, so then we'll get into it one step at a time. Li pig is the basa, is the real basa. So with these two examples, I did not convert any north south hemisphere for the compass rearrangement. No, I just use the compass normally used in the north hemisphere, and it produces same result. So in my opinion, using our system, San Yuan Yuan Gua, you don't need to convert the north and south hemisphere qi. And I believe, the Facebook we talk about on the first video, that the student, we have a Facebook group. I believe they do not convert the law plan to to become adapted to the north hemisphere as well. And if you like my video, you can give me a like, also subscribe to get the update. But if you don't subscribe, doesn't matter. It's okay with me. I'm not trying to be a YouTuber. Try not to be. They say you can make money on YouTube, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. What my purpose is to give people a good understand what is traditional Feng Shui.